Hello, my friends. How are you? Hiker Dave NE here. I hope everyone's doing awesome. Had a nice holiday weekend. What is that? Yes, sir. I'm having a nice hike. It's a beautiful day today. Oh, let me fix. I hope this microphone is okay. So I was hiking. I'm just going to get right to it. Thank you guys for clicking. I do appreciate it. I was hiking with Gary, and I didn't realize. So I had my microphone on, and I was going through the video for edit, um, to upload it, and I realized you could barely hear Gary. Now that is interesting. You really couldn't hear Gary, and I'm like, if I wish I had two microphones. And then I thought, wait a minute, I thought I remembered. I went back that this very, very generous subscriber donated microphones, plural. There was two microphones. I didn't even realize it. And anyways, in the future, I'm going to have Gary, and he's going to have his own microphone, so that way you can hear what he's got to say. This is odd. I never really noticed this. This is really how. I have to ask this. This is my first time seeing this. This is a place that I go all the time, but look at this. Okay, you got this. Looks like to be pine. Yeah, I see pine needles. Right? It's not rooted there. Definitely not rooted there. That's actually the top of the tree. Look at this. Look at that. How in the world did that get there? What? I didn't expect this, you guys. There was something I was going through an old notebook of mine, and I wanted to talk about. Holy mackerel, how does that even happen? That's not somebody who would do that. Like, I can't see a person, even if you're cleaning the trail. How would you, like, that's like 2.5 inch diameter down below, and it gets nice and fat to like 7 to 8 inches up top. That is insane. I didn't see that. All right, I got to check that out when I'm on my way out. Wow, that is crazy. So, I'm sorry. So I have another microphone, which is really great. So that way we can hear Gary, because he has stuff to say. I can't believe I missed that, you guys. That's really something. It may be nothing to you guys seeing this. To me, this is a big deal to me, to have an upside down tree that's placed like that and leaned all the way up against that pine. That is really odd. Okay. So I want to do a live as well, a live stream. Me and Gary, planning on doing it. I'm kind of roughly planning it for one of the 10th of this month. Maybe the 13th or 14th. I think that would be not this weekend coming, but the weekend after, but I'm not positive. But I think it would be really a lot of fun to be able to have you guys ask questions, or we could just, you know what I mean, hang out and talk for a little bit, and you guys will have an opportunity to kind of chat amongst, with each other. I think it would be pretty neat. So I was cleaning out my barn. I do this I usually do it in the spring, but I was kind of lacking this year, and I just recently was just doing a nice cleaning of it. And I came across one of my old notebooks. I hadn't seen it in a while. One of my Sasquatch notebooks. And I had 6, like I was just flipping through it, actually this morning. And there I found 6 pages of writing on just my thoughts on the subject of Sasquatch. And it was dated for September 9th, I think, or September 5th of 2019, 6 years ago, almost to the day. I just happened to pick it up. And like I was saying, in the margins of my writing, and the writing that I was jotting down, I can tell by the writing that I'm questioning what I'm doing as far as walking in the woods and talking about Sasquatch. And I can really tell by my writing that I'm not sure if what I'm doing, like, should I be doing this? Like, what is the end? What am I trying to achieve? Whoop, I heard that. Hear that? Stick break. Could be anything. And I could tell in my writing that I was getting kind of torn between, should I continue doing this? Like, it just was really neat to see. At the time, I was having an inner battle with myself, I guess you could say, too. Why am I doing this? But in the margins, I had these questions, just small writing, short paragraphs and questions. And the questions that I'm reading in the margins are questions I still have those questions today. I jotted down a few of them because there was a whole bunch, and I have this list of questions. You can freeze it if you want or whatever and read it. They're just questions that I had in the margins of the notebook. And I thought it was interesting. I'm like, wow, even, I say back then, like it was just so long ago, but 6 years ago, I kind of got a glimpse into what my mindset was at the time, 6 years ago, almost to the day. So one of the questions I had jotted down is, where does Sasquatch go in bad weather? It's like, if I could have a sit down interview with a Sasquatch, these are some of the questions. Well, I'm sorry about the camera work. The mosquitoes, all of a sudden, of course, I mentioned that they're not as bad lately. They heard me and they called in for backup. But yeah, I like a question like as simple as that. Like when it's a snowstorm, or say I live in the Northeast, we get hurricanes and nasty, nor'easters come in the wintertime, and they'll dump feet of snow in one, in 1 or 2 nights. And that was something even back then, 6 years ago, was something I gave a lot of thought to. Another question, this one I still find interesting, is do they get sick? Does Sasquatch get like the common cold? Viruses, or can they? What is that called when you eat like raw bear meat or undercooked trichinosis, I think, or something like that? Do they? It's like from a worm or something inside the meat, but do they get sick like that? Do they like have a bad day when it's like, hey, hey boss man, I'm not feeling so good. I'm not going to be able to make it in today. Not going to be able to do any wood knocks today, boss. whatever. But it was something that I had given thought to 6 years ago. And then kind of right along with that, like, do they know about herbs, like plants, like aloe, just, as an example. But like, I believe that the indigenous peoples, that, you know, they knew about certain plants that they could use for a rash, or, I mean, for instance, like pine needles, it can help fight off scurvy. Just stuff like that. It's like, I wonder if Sasquatch has the knowledge, if they possess the knowledge to use herbs and stuff and junk. I thought it was interesting. Again, another question I'd like to pose for the big guy or lady. Another one. Yeah. So I wonder if they're sick or ill, or just straight up old age. Okay, that's I've never seen here before either. Will they go somewhere to die? Like, I want to say mountain lion, and I'm sure that there are other animals, you know, that will. I think maybe, you know, old cats will do that. They just want to be left alone to, you know, to have their last moments alive, just away from their, you know, away from others. So I think that's a legit question. Thought it was interesting. Let's see, there was another one. So this one I still talk about, like, do they like, this kind of goes hand in hand with like traveling. Do they migrate? Do they follow herds of elk, herds of deer, and stuff like that? And then I'm thinking, well, that would change, I guess, depending on their location, right? Like, if they lived in a very, very warm climate, I couldn't see much need. I wouldn't see much need for them to be chasing down their food source. If if their food source isn't traveling huge distances, then I would think that Sasquatch would kind of, you know, would be similar to that, to their travel habits or patterns. It's been some time since I've been down this way. Now this is that ridge, you guys. If I'm sure you've seen my videos, I talk about a ridge. My gifting marble thing, whatever it is I have going on, is off that way, and this is the end of that ridge, and it starts to rise and runs that way. Just saying, just to give you an idea, if you are familiar with this area with my channel, my gifting boulder is, my marble experiment is that way. But it's something to think about. Like I said, the travel aspect of it. Uh, so now here was something I wrote this down too, and it's kind of weird, but what's that? Um, Hunting. I would love to know what kind of tactics they use. There's some really weird stuff going here around this area. Some stuff I've never seen, but I haven't really come down here in a long time, so that's why. Hey, Bear. So I'm curious, like, if the military, like the military has a certain way that they'll set up an ambush area or something like that, and I'm curious if Sasquatch does the same. Like, are they solo hunters, or do they hunt in packs? Do they hunt in pairs? Just questions that I think of from time to time. Like, you would think, I guess a big pack of Sasquatch hunting might be a disadvantage. But then again, you know, if you've got the numbers and it's just an all-out assault, you know, maybe maybe they use that tactic. I don't know. Just a thought, you guys. Let's see, migration. I had that. I already touched on the migration part. Speaking of, where did my walking stick migrate? Oh, I put it down. Okay, that's okay. I'll, let's see, I put it next. I'll find it. I'll find it on the way out. Yeah, the migration thing, definitely have talked about that in depth because it's possible, I think, that the stick tree breaks and stuff. Whoa. Hello. That the tree breaks that I talk about all the time could maybe aid or assist Sasquatch in a general travel direction. It's just something to think about. That, you know, I had that video. Actually, it's got a ton of views, and I made a video about the tree breaks on why Sasquatch would do that, and I did not make it clear in the video. Like, I didn't clarify. It's like you watch the video. It's like, all right, Hiker Dave, you titled it, "This is why." This is why they do this, and yet I think I maybe lightly brushed upon the reason why I think that they do it, and it's multiple. It's I made a video once and I mentioned that, you know, you could grab a tree, a sapling, snap it, and use it as a quick shelter, really quick, like just in a pinch. There's a lot of activity going on around here right now in this area. It's a lot of acorns dropping, a lot of dark figures in the distance. And I, of course, am by myself. I'm going hiking with Gary this Sunday. You will be seeing a video. So back to my list of questions that I would ask Sam Squamch if I ever had the opportunity. Let's see. I went through that. Yeah. Now this is one I give thought to about, and I think it's a fairly serious question of what does Sasquatch think about us, think about humans, and then in my own mind, I'm like, well, what if Sasquatch is human slash, you know, like maybe Sasquatch is like a cross between, and it has incredible amounts of human DNA. But, and anyways, that's another question for another question. But it's like, do they despise us? You know, is there a hatred there because people, you know, lug nuts like me walk around in the woods talking to a funny looking box? We're not friendly when you look at the totality of it. We do nothing but fight wars and take resources and plant our flag and say this is ours. If I was a Sasquatch, I would teach my young to stay away from humans. Don't even go near them, or that keep your enemies close kind of thing. You know, I'm sure everybody has heard of that. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer type of thing. And that maybe they despise humans. I'm not saying all Sasquatch would feel that way. And I'm not saying that all humans are evil and should be feared. But I think as you know, in general, as a rule, I wouldn't be surprised if Sasquatch does all it possibly can. I've almost said humanly possible, but hey, right? Who knows? To stay away and completely avoid contact with humans. Just it kind of makes sense. If you go back in time and they have watched our progress as a species on the planet, and hey, let's say that they've been around for thousands of years, and they watch us just destroying stuff over and over and over, I would not be running to the front of the class to say, please let me be the one to make contact, right? It, it just wouldn't make sense. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if they kind of don't like us that much. Just a thought. I mean, just saying. I wonder if I can see my gifting boulder from here. Now I won't be able to see it through the brush. I'll tell you though, in a couple months, this will be all the greenery will be gone except for the pine needles. Yeah, those are just some questions that I had. 2 days, almost exactly to the day, 6 years ago when I wrote those notes in my notebook. I do that a lot. I write a lot to the point where there's sometimes I guess I don't need to write stuff down, but I like to document it. Did I walk? When did that get there? I don't remember walking, having to avoid that, but yet here it is. I have to come back here. Oh, you guys, I got to tell you something. You're going to love it. Don't leave yet. If you were just going to click, don't click yet. So I got an email from this guy from WMUR News, Chronicles, New Hampshire Chronicles, right? And he sent me an email. I think it was 2 years ago. Might have been 3 years ago. So he sent me another email. I didn't see the one. I didn't see the one from a few years ago, but I just happened to catch the one he sent recently, and I'm like, what is going on now? WMUR News is sending me an email for some reason. So I opened it, I'm reading it, and this guy, his name is Sean McDonald, or McDonough, Sean McDonald. And he says, oh, hi, Dave, I've watched your videos, I like your channel, and I'd love to do a story about you. And right away, I messaged back, this is a scam, right? Like, this is, you're putting me on, this can't be real. And he got back to me and said, no, it's not a scam. He said, if you want, call the news station itself and ask for my extension. That way you know I'm not messing with you. Wow. I said, okay, I will do that. So it was a couple weeks ago. And so I did. I called. I think it's Channel 9 up here in New Hampshire. I don't know, but it's WMUR. And I called the station. Sure enough, he had his own his own extension. And I texted him. I said, okay, man, yeah, here's my number if you really wanted to do this. And it was the week before. It was last week. So he says, hey, listen, I'm on assignment. I got some stuff I'm doing. But let me get in touch with you next week and we can set something up. And I'm thinking, all right, yeah, that would be pretty cool. So I didn't even know if I was going to hear from him or not. Well, sure enough, yesterday my phone rings. And it is Sean McDonald himself from New Hampshire Chronicles. He says, yeah, in the next couple of weeks, let's set something up. And I figured an interview on a park bench somewhere or something. No, he says, where do you go? Do you have a place locally in your area? I said, oh, I got a place for you there, buddy boy. I have a spot that you would absolutely love. I go, so you're going to go in the woods with me? He goes, well, yeah, I'd like to go with you on one of your hikes. And I said, are you talking about off the air? Or he said, no, I want to do a little bit in the New Hampshire Chronicle segment on Sasquatch, and I'd like to have you on to talk to. And I want to go, where you see sign and stuff. I'm like, okay, so that's going to happen, I guess. I mean, what do you guys think? Oh, then I said to him on the phone, I said, all right, if you're doing this to make me look like a buffoon, then you can just forget it. I said, because I've seen other stations that do this, and they put on a local yokel who is absolutely visually looks like he's half in the bag and just drank a bottle of whiskey, and he's hooting and hollering and making sounds like a monkey. I'm like, you're not getting that from me. Like, I don't want nothing to do with that. He said, no. He said, that's why I contacted you, because it looks like you're, a straightforward guy. I said, okay. All right, well, we can do it. So now I'm kind of in a waiting mode. Where is that? Where did that tree go? So I'm kind of waiting now to see if this guy actually calls me. I don't know. We'll see, right? I don't even know if it's the right move. Like, I think something I want to do is to tell him I want to see this reel. Like, I want to see what you're gonna put on TV, because I don't want you cutting it up and making it into something that it isn't. You know. So, anyways, I figured I would let you guys know that Hiker Dave might be doing a segment on New Hampshire Chronicle up in New Hampshire. I'm still a little bit second guessing. I want to make sure this guy's not going to try to make me, I don't want to to shine any bad light on the Sasquatch topic or others that are involved in the Bigfoot community, I guess you could say. I just don't want to, it's already a joke to a lot of people, and I don't want to make it worse by having this guy make me look like, I'm some kind of lug nut that's running around the woods, smashing on trees, wood knocking. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting close to the road. And there's my walking stick. Awesome. I can't believe I put it down and walked away from it. All right, you guys. That was my walk and talk for the day. Thank you guys so much for clicking. I really do appreciate it. Hey, bear. And I will definitely see you on the next one.